What's happening? What's happening? Back again for another episode of Verified with Cornell the Shooter on the C&P Network. I'm yours truly, and we're located right now in the Sailor's Den. We got none other than KB Brown. Brody, what's happening?
What's going on, Brody?
Man, ain't nothing to it. Brody, what I like to do is like to get everybody just to who you are. First time on the platform, then we'll get into the hard-hitting questions. That cool?
It's bet that.
All right, bro. Where exactly are you from?
I'm Chattanooga, Tennessee, born and raised. Grew up on the south side. You know what I'm saying? I've been there all my life. You know, born on the south, but the whole city my turf. So, yeah, I be rocking.
For people who's not familiar with the way they break down Chattanooga, explain the south side. Where does it start and where does it end?
It really just depends on who you ask. I just had a conversation with a couple of my homies the other day. Some say when you cross the railroad tracks, when you pass the FedEx building, but I think it started. I say when you pass in the Cancun on Market, I say the South started like right there, cause that's originally where I'm from. I grew up right there in that area, so yeah. Anything past the Cancun Market on back, that's considered the South.
Gotcha. So what was it like growing up on the south side of Chattanooga, brother?
Man, it's just kind of like growing up on either part of the city. You know, you had your rough moments, but we grew up in it, so we was accustomed to it, so we was used to it. So it just seemed like a normal childhood. But growing up on the South, man, that really made me who I am. That molded me to the man I am today, bro. Cause like you couldn't just be weak. Like you had to have backbone to come up out there. So yeah, bro, I love the South because that really made me who I am today.
I hear that. All right, so while in the 12th grade,
Right, 12th grade.
your childhood home burnt down.
Man, you doing your research.
Appreciate it. You were homeless for 3 years. In the process of the home burning down, you were still in school.
Right.
You're still working with anticipation on going to college. How did an 18-year-old manage all those tasks?
Man, it's pretty much just having the determination and having faith. Like, man, it won't always be this way. Just knowing, like, yeah, I'm going through something right now, but eventually the sunshine gonna be on the other side of that. And man, like, I can't even lie, bro. There's a lot of times like I gave up faith. Like I just didn't think like things was gonna get back the way it was, but I just knew like I got some people that I need to make proud, and I know they depending on me as in the such of being the one who makes something of itself. So I knew like, man, like we grew up all our lives struggling, but now I got the opportunity to be something, and I got to be something, not just for me, but for my family. So man, it was just that faith and determination, like knowing we gonna get out of this eventually.
I hear that.
Yeah.
Do you recall what exactly happened to the house? What caused the fire?
Man, it was a space heater was too close to a chair, and then it ended up like a spark from the heater. It got somehow it made it to the chair, and the chair caught on fire. And then next thing you know, the whole room was on fire. Then from there, almost the whole bottom half of the house caught on fire. And actually, I was still in the house as the house was burning down. I was upstairs in my studio.
So you was inside the home when it was on fire?
I was inside the studio, and my mom had told me that day, like, when you get home, make sure you come home and do some college applications. But you know, back then, man, I really wasn't trying to tap into college. I was just worrying about getting home and recording. And I remember just sitting there, and I remember I just started smelling smoke. And you know how like you smell smoke, and you probably thinking like, man, mama probably downstairs burning chicken or something like that. But then like over time, like the smoke just got a little darker, and I'm like, man, something wrong. I just kept calling. I'm like, mama. She didn't answer. So I was just like, man, something wrong. So I peeked my head out the room, and it just seemed like it was just a big cloud of dark, like it was a big cloud of dark smoke. And I was just like, man, I don't know what's going on, but I don't know. It's just like you get that gut feeling like, man, something wrong. So man, I wrapped a t-shirt around my head, and mind you, I don't know where I'm going. Like I just wrapped around my head. I just shot straight out the room. And me not knowing like what's on the other side, like once I got downstairs. So once I got downstairs, I looked up. I kind of took it off. I took the t-shirt off my head and I seen like the whole fire, like the whole outline was just gushing like in flames. But by that time, I'm making it out the door, but it's really not really processing like what's going on. So I'm looking, I'm like, damn, bro, the whole damn house on fire. Ain't nobody here but me. So man, I looked to my left, looked to my right, but I left my phone in the house. So man, and it's a fire station right around the corner from where my home was. I ran there, told them my house was on fire. So by the time I made it back, everybody done pulled up. It's probably like about 100 people outside. And by the time I made it back, man, that whole house was burning down. Like I made it out like by the grace of God, because remember the firefighter, he was telling me like, man, if you would have stayed in that house, probably even more in probably like 2 minutes, you probably wouldn't even made it
I
out.
believe it.
Yeah, so
Yeah, man. Wow.
12th grade, bro.
12th grade.
Yeah.
What was your parents' response when they found out about the house?
Man, like my mom, she was like devastated. Pops, when he pulled up, he saw the house on fire. He was thinking that I was still in the house. But he not even knowing like I done left and I ran to the fire station. So man, he done try to bust through the door and with the house on fire and trying, but the neighbor happened to step out. He was like, no, tell Randy come back out here. KB already out the house. And by that time, like he done came back. He was like, man, I'll let the house burn down. My son, okay, I can rebuild a house.
Man,
Yeah.
shout out to Pops, bro.
So man, I always shout out to Pops, man, because no matter what people may say about him, people might have different experiences with him, but none of that. I ain't never had no bad experience with him because that man put his life on the line to save me. So to the day I'm here, to the day I'm gone, man, I always cherish that man and I praise him because he put his life on the line for me.
Yeah, shout out to Pops. So, bro, being from Chattanooga,
Right.
coming up where you came from, south side of Chatt, I'm sure the temptation to get out the dope game, it was there.
Mm-hmm.
What kept you from hopping off the porch and getting out there?
Man, I say, man, just coming up on my stepdad. My stepdad was in the dope game. So man, it was just kind of like from early on, he just gave me the game like, okay, like you see what come with it and you sure you want this? But at this time, he introduced me like to the world of rap. So by the time I'm coming up as an adolescent, I was on the road. Like I was on the road going to different cities. So I didn't really get the chance to participate like in like the everyday activities like the children had. So I ain't really get in trouble because I was just always into music early on, and I came up under the guidance of my stepdad, and he just always laid that game on me and let me know like what it was and what it is and what it ain't. So yeah, by having a father figure in the house, man, they really played a difference. They played a real big role.
I agree, hey, man. Hey, that's real. So you said father figure.
Right.
How important do you feel like the man or the father's presence is in the household?
Like man, a mother can teach you a lot of things, but it's just some things it requires a man being around for because it's just some things a woman can't teach you, man. And it's just kind of like having the patience, having the willpower, and just knowing what battles to pick and which ones to let go, man. Like a father figure, that's like the most important thing because having a father figure in the house versus not having a father figure in the house, like you can tell the difference because by me having a father figure in the house and looking around my other friends who didn't have it, and you look at us like our upbringing, you just be like, we come from the same place, but by the resources that we had, we kind of done went different routes because of the bagging that I had and they may not have. So man, the father figure is like everything. But it all comes from the guidance of a man, from him just wanting better for me, and just knowing like he always got my best interests at heart. And like I said, man, I cherish that because everybody don't get that.
That's real. That's real. So, how long you and your pops and your mom's been married?
They've been together 30 years.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Hey, 30 years, that ain't nothing to
30
sneeze
years,
at.
30 years this year.
That ain't nothing to sneeze at. On your personal life, back in
Right,
August 2023, you
right.
and your longtime girlfriend Marquita made it official. Y'all tied the knot and got married.
Yes,
Uh,
sir.
how is the married life being, Brody?
Man, marriage life is everything I thought it would be, bro. It just I came in with the mindset I'm gonna put my all into it, and whatever come of it, it come of it. But I just knew like it was time, like man. Then plus we got a 2-year-old, and I felt like I would have been doing her a disservice by not making that commitment to her after we done been down for so long.
That's real. How long y'all been together in
11
total?
years.
11 years.
11.
11,
Oh,
man.
11.
Can you offer any advice to people like, when it comes to longevity in relationships? Can you offer any advice on that?
Man, just keep that line of communication open and just be willing to forgive, man, because you're not gonna always be happy with that person, but when it comes to marriage, it's bigger than the both of you. So as long as you keep that line of communication open and just having, just knowing like that's your person for life, and then just knowing like this is who I choose to do life with, man, you really can't go no wrong, man.
That's real. Uh, has your music career ever been a hindrance to your relationship?
I say like early on when I first popped out on the scene, it just kind of like, man, I just wanted to be the big man on campus. And so, with the big man on campus, like, man, I started getting booked like crazy, like probably like 3 or 4 bookings like a week, like whether in Chattanooga or outside of Chattanooga. And I just wasn't kind of communicating that with her. And then after a while, I just know it just started kind of taking a toll, and like because like with women, they had that insecurity, like, man, you might leave me for somebody else, you might have a group and you gonna leave me for them. But it wasn't even like that, because like what I do personal from business, I make sure I separate the two, so I don't get distracted by the temptation. But I just want to lay in that communication out for it. And then it did have its strain, but you know what I'm saying? I just had to reassure her, like, man, I want you and only you. We gonna lock in, and I'm gonna do this music, and we gonna do it big.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Does she play a role in your music career? As far as I'm talking about on the inside, as far as like, just helping you book shows, is she printing flyers, is she or is she just playing the background, being supportive behind the scenes?
Not she not really a part of like the day-to-day process. That's just the person that I go to, like if I just kind of need advice on something. Like if I say like, how would this look or how would that look? So like I said, I try to divide the two. I try not to bring her like into like my whole rap career. I just try to keep that separate. Like I don't bring work problems home, and I don't bring home problems to work.
Smart
Yeah,
man. Smart
yeah,
man.
man.
uh, you have a son. How was Father's Day?
Man, Father's Day was like everything, man. Oh man, I feel like that's my special holiday. That's almost just as important as birthdays.
That's real. Y'all do anything special?
Man, not really, man. I just got to kick it with my son like that whole entire day, man. Like we went to a Father's Day cookout, and we had on our T-shirts with our pictures, and I had KB on back of mine. He had a little KB on back of his. It was just all love, man.
Hey man, that's what it is, bro. That stuff matters, man.
Yeah,
That stuff people think you gotta spend a lot of money and this, that, and the third, but it's that
man. It
time.
ain't
That
it,
genuine time.
It is not about the money, bro. And just like I was saying, like with my stepdad, I really didn't really have a relationship like with my biological father till like I got older. But it's just the 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 stuff that I went through early on that just made me want to be a better father to mine, just making sure I'm not missing out on that precious time. So like when it comes to like appointments, doctor's appointments, I'm there for all that. Like it don't matter what it is, and because I know once I became a father, I know it's all about sacrifices. I don't care about the sacrifices as long as that little man he got me there with him. and I could put him in a place where he could elevate in life, I don't care about that, bro. I'm all in, bro.
That's the most important job you can have.
Yeah.
You said so I'm taking you didn't have much of a relationship with your biological father growing up.
Man, I did, but we really didn't. Man, it was just kind of a rocky start to. We really didn't really start connecting until I was maybe like 27, 28, something like that.
Okay.
It
What
was just
brought that about?
my dad, he became a pastor, and you know, many years you just kind of have resentment where you just try to just stay away, but it's just like, man, as I got older, you just kind of realize, like, being an adult, it ain't as easy as people make it seem. Like, man, you got a lot of temptations, and like, and as I got old, I just started to understand more. Like, not understanding like why it was, but understanding like, man, you a man and
Right.
shit happens.
You couldn't sympathize, but you could empathize.
Yeah,
Right. That's
exactly,
powerful.
exactly,
That's powerful.
exactly.